Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for February 2022. Before I get into the reading, this is, of course, a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So as always, I'm going to take a deep dive into the numerology for the collective for the month of February. I highly recommend not skipping this part. This is why I don't put timestamps in these videos, because the numerology part of this reading is the bread and butter. This is what's sort of driving the energy. So please listen to this part. You're more than welcome to fast forward if you choose to, but just so you know, this is important. Okay. Then I will dive into the energy of each individual life path number. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so February is an 8 universal cycle. What's really interesting about this, so 8 energy is sort of governs the material plane. So think money, resources, power dynamics. Why this is so interesting that this is occurring, that this 8 cycle is occurring in February 2022 is because in astrology, we have the Pluto return for the United States going exact, I believe, on February 22nd, 2022. So that's 2222022. So that's a lot of twos, a lot of balance energy. So with this Pluto return for the US, no matter where you are in the world, what sort of happens in the US does have some sort of effect on the rest of the world. That's just sort of the way it is. And so this Pluto return is incredibly significant. And it only happens, I think, your Pluto return, I think, only happens once like every 248 years or something like that. It's we humans never see their Pluto return, but like companies, estates, countries will see a Pluto return, and it can be significant. And so I would highly, highly suggest, if you haven't already done so, find an astrologer and that you like, that you resonate with, and watch their videos on the upcoming Pluto return for the US, because you are going to feel the effects of that in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's why this is just kind of mind-blowing that we have this 8 universal cycle that's centered around money, resources, power dynamics, and then we have this Pluto return coming in February for the United States. And again, Pluto is all about death, transformation, rebirth. This could be the start of a major overhaul when it comes to money, resources, control, transfer of power, and so on, to sort of function more effectively. So this, of course, will take many, many years. This isn't something that happens on the day or that happens immediately, but it's the start of a transformation. It's the start of a death and a rebirth, a start of a major overhaul and rebalancing. And so I think that we're going to see that play out on the global scale. And we can start to see things changing and the dynamics changing because of that. Because anytime Pluto is involved, shit is about to get real. That's just, it's for our highest good, but it gets intense. It gets intense pretty fast, and things that aren't working will basically be plowed over, and then it's time to transform and have that rebirth. So it's an intense energy, and that will be with us for a while as far as Pluto is concerned. With the 8 energy, we have this cycle in February. And so this brings it into the individual dynamic, right? So we will feel this not only collectively, but individually. Whereas the Pluto will be more collective, the Pluto energy for the Pluto return for the US. Okay, so for February, for the collective and for the individual, again, February is an 8 universal cycle, and we can see the emphasis really going to be placed strongly on the physical plane. So especially when it comes to money matters and how we make money, how we circulate money, our relationship with money, and so on. The same with resources. If we have lessons to learn around 8 energy, we could see challenges or transformations come in around finances, distribution of wealth, resources, how we handle those resources. Remember, we are in a 6 universal year. So the emphasis throughout the year will be on the greater community and how the individual actions affect the whole. So this month, in February, is an opportunity to sort of take a deeper, more serious look at how we are using resources, how they're being distributed and circulated, starting with ourselves, within our own homes. So this is ultimately about finding a healthy balance where we aren't falling into some toxic level of an extreme. Sort of living in excess has its own consequences, good and bad, just like living in deprivation does. So where is your healthy balance between the two, and how can you contribute to the redistribution of wealth and resources to keep that energy flowing? That's going to be a question we need to be asking ourselves. This will all be emphasized on the global stage, as I mentioned, as well as individually. That's really important to keep in mind. So we are individually going to feel the effects of this 8 universal cycle in some way, shape, or form. So really use this cycle to evaluate your finances, your resources, and determine whether you are feeling centered and in a healthy place with this energy, or whether you have fallen into an extreme, right? So in an extreme, work with the energy of this 8 cycle to begin to find ways to get back into a state of equilibrium when it comes to your own personal finances, resources, and relationships with those energies. That's going to be really, really important. And I think you'll see it highlighted where it is that there needs some work or some redistribution, or some where there needs to be, again, just sort of like your attention, your awareness. This 8 cycle is also emphasizing personal power and inner strength. So where we're going to be, again, seeing on the global stage that power dynamics and redistribution of power and all of that, on the personal side of things, it's going to be emphasizing personal power and inner strength. So if there are any areas within your life where you are giving your power away, or where you are easily influenced by an external source, someone telling you what you should do and you doing that, you may be faced with some pretty powerful truths and challenges to help to assist you in reclaiming that power and becoming much more decisive and autonomous when it comes to your own life and the choices that you make for yourself. Nobody else on this planet is responsible for our life. So if there are any aspects of our journey where someone is trying to dictate or do something for us, something that we're fully capable of doing for ourselves, then this 8 energy will be pushing us to take on the responsibility of the direction of our own life. So I hear people say sometimes, I did this because so-and-so told me to, and it didn't work out, so it's their fault and I'm mad now, or I'm upset, or we're not friends any longer because I took it personally, or whatever. That scenario is an example of giving your power away and then blaming someone else for the consequences of your own actions. We have the final say when it comes to our decisions and our choices, whether we were influenced by another to make those choices or if we made them through our own decisiveness. Either way, if those choices work out or they don't, it's our responsibility to take ownership of the result, to be empowered to either celebrate the success or take responsibility for what didn't work out and clean up our own mess. So 8 energy isn't about passing the buck and passing the blame. It's about taking ownership and responsibility of one's own circumstances, picking ourselves up when we fall, and then finding ways to not keep making the same missteps so we don't keep falling in the same direction. And so this 8 energy is going to help to sort of emphasize where it may be within our life that we're doing that and where we can clean that up a little bit and start taking that responsibility. So if there are any areas within your life where you have knowingly or even unknowingly been giving your power away, this 8 cycle will sort of shed light on that area and make it very difficult to ignore until you make the decision and commit to stepping back into your own magnificence and your own power. This 8 energy is all about self-empowerment, not martyrdom. There's a difference. Remember, we can't do it for someone else without taking their power away. That's martyrdom. Support, yes, we can support other people, but we can't try to do it for them. Because again, it's in the doing for the person and not believing that they have the capability of doing it that we're actually taking their power away. We are detracting from them, right? From their own essence. Supporting someone to assist them and sort of showing them or reminding them of their power and allowing them or teaching them to do it for themselves is so much more powerful, right? That is empowerment. So I believe we will see power struggles play out on the global stage under this energy, but it also serves a bigger purpose to sort of eventually bring the power back to the people. So remember, this cycle will help to highlight where the imbalances of power lie so that the equilibrium can eventually be reached. And as always, it's what we choose to do with this energy and how we choose to participate with it that ultimately makes the difference in how the energy works for us. So this is going to be an interesting month. This is, like I said, with this Pluto dynamic happening for the US and hence globally. And then we've got this 8 energy coming in. This could be a very intense month. This can be a month of transformation when it comes to, again, money, power, resources, or it can be a month where you start to see the sort of start reaping the rewards for some of the efforts that you've put in. Maybe you see an influx of money coming in, resources. Maybe you feel like you're stepping into your power. This can be like you stepping on the other side of that transformation. Maybe you've already been doing this work, and so you're fully stepping into it and sort of reaping the rewards of taking the reins back within your own life. So you can certainly see that show up as well. But for others, if you're struggling with, again, giving your power away or struggling with falling into the extremes of something within the physical realm, then this month might be a little bit more about the transformations and the challenges to help you to overcome those situations and to, again, regain what is rightfully yours, your power, your resources, and to circulate those resources and that money. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the life path number. Okay, life path number 1. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and you've got gorilla spirit. And so this is very powerful 1 energy. So what's interesting is the message from gorilla for February for you all is take the time to listen compassionately to others and their advice. So sort of without judgment. And so what really is coming in here with this gorilla energy is because, you think of like a silverback gorilla. They're big, they're mighty, they're powerful, they're, forging their own path. They are the trailblazers, right? And so it really makes me think of 1 energy. Sometimes though, it can be a sort of a dominant energy where the person sort of takes the reins a little bit too much and tries to dictate to others what to do, or gets that energy of it's my way or no other way, you know what I'm saying, or the highway type thing. And so I'm really getting this energy around, just a reminder that as a 1, you are meant to lead alongside of others. And so really I'm getting this feeling like in January, be open to what others have to say. Take what resonates for you, even if you don't like the message, right? Like if it resonates for you, there's a reason, even if it triggers you in some way, just kind of be aware of it. But listen to what other people have to say, even if you don't like it, and see if you can sort of work with those words, work with that wisdom in some way, as opposed to thinking my way is the only way and it's the right way and nobody else's opinion or experience matters type thing. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just getting this energy of like, don't bulldoze, right? Work alongside of others. This could be a great time for collaboration. This could be a time for, again, leading alongside of others because everybody's contribution is important. It's the one who will take all of those contributions and make something out of them, make something big out of them, right? So it's not that it's all about, your ideas and you doing it perfectly yourself and being an island. It's about, again, taking the contributions and the ideas from others and creating something new and unique from that. So just remember that, you're not an island, and be open to the messages that come in from other people, especially if they trigger you, right? Because if they're triggering you, if they're hitting a sore spot, there's a reason for that. There's the reason why it's having some kind of you're having some kind of an emotional response to it. It could be that it needs a little bit more, it's still cooking, you know what I mean? Like, you need to kind of like let it sort of percolate, see where it needs maybe some adjustments or whatnot. And so that trigger point is bringing your awareness and your attention to that point to see, do I need to make some adjustments here? So my point being, just be open to what others have to say without judgment, without trying to do it your own way. You see what I'm saying? Collaboration, I think, is going to be key without, again, bulldozing or having the need to be right or having the need to be perfect. So hopefully I articulated that okay. All right, so looking at the month ahead for you all, beginning of February, I'm seeing some cause for celebration here. Again, collaborative energy. So there's maybe something here where you're working with somebody, you are brainstorming with someone shares an idea, you run with that idea, you're making something of it, and then when it becomes successful, you're all celebrating that success because it was a joint effort type thing. But there's some news coming in, some kind of opportunity perhaps that's cause for celebration. This is a social time, or at least there will be potentially opportunities to attend some social events. I would highly recommend doing that. It will be an opportunity for you to network, to collaborate, but overall it's a very light energy. And again, cause for celebration. This could be a big win coming in for you for something that you've been working on, getting some sort of clarity around something and then really running with that and feeling really good about that. So just really embrace this energy at the beginning of the month. This could be around finances, resources, leadership or something like that as well, since we do have that 8 energy for this month. So embrace whatever this is and allow yourself the time to celebrate this win, whatever this is, because this is beautiful energy. Mid-month, you will have some real sort of reflection time that's going to be needed. There's definitely this energy of you feeling really restrained or constricted, almost like you want to bust free from something, but you feel like you can't for some reason. But what they're saying is, or what I'm kind of seeing is that the restraints are an illusion. So there's something deeper at play here that's actually holding you back. And again, it's self-restrictive behavior. It's some kind of potential fear that's holding you back, or self-defeating thought process, or self-doubt. But it's not real, whatever this is. It's a story that you've created, that you're telling yourself, and maybe the experiences that you've drawn in have sort of highlighted those beliefs about yourself and sort of emphasized them to the point to where you believe them even more. But they're not real. And so the universe is saying, pay attention to whatever it is that is the restriction, because that restriction is not a real restriction. There is a way around it. And in order to find that path, you're going to have to go within. You're going to have some time for self-reflection and some time for rest. So if you've been running ragged, you really need to sort of carve out some time for solitude, for going within, being able to just sit with your heart and your thoughts and figure out whatever this is, because the only way to sort of break free from this is for you to figure out what it actually is that's holding you back, because it's not something external to you, is what they're showing me. It's all within. And so that's where the work starts, or needs to start. So I think that you will, and again, it goes back to sort of giving your power away, right? Giving your power away to these fears, to these self-defeating thoughts. I can't do this because this is not successful because, you see what I'm saying? And so really it's about getting down to the core of what it is that you feel is the restriction and what is imposing that restriction. Like what really is imposing that restriction? Because you could be like, well, it's my boss. Okay, but you're choosing to stay in that environment. Why? You see what I'm saying? So it comes down to a deeper core evaluation that sort of needs to take place as far as what it is that is actually holding you back from doing this thing that you want to do, or whatever it is, right? Or just from doing whatever it is that you're trying to do. So a lot of contemplation coming in, self-reflection, going within, really following that internal compass to figure out what the restriction is and how to alleviate that restriction. Because again, it just feels like an illusion. It doesn't feel real. It feels more self-imposed, though it may appear to be imposed by something in the external. So that's where, again, you're not going to get the answers externally because that's where the illusions are. So you need to go within. And then end of the month, this is interesting because I kind of see you needing to sort of start some kind of new journey, potential collaboration, something, but I feel like there's a lot of fogginess around whatever this is. And so there's ultimately a lot of fear around whatever this is. And again, I feel like you're going to really have to, this is actually where I feel like you could be really called to collaborate, not having somebody else tell you what to do, but joining forces with other people to assist you on this path. Because it seems like there's, again, I just get this energy of like, you were trying to be an island and do it all yourself and do it right and be perfect and all of those things, right? But this, whatever this is not island work. It's something that's going to cause you or require you to collaborate in some way. And then trust the people that you're collaborating with and make sure that you're open to those ideas and that you're leading alongside of others. This is a journey where whatever this is, that if you try to go it alone, it's going to be much more difficult than it needs to be. And so this could be a time, again, where you're just brainstorming. You're just getting ideas from other people. You're taking other people's ideas into consideration and then coming up with a game plan of how it is that you'll execute whatever this is. And not trying to be the leader, but leading alongside of those people that you are collaborating with. Definitely getting this energy of this is not something that needs to be a solo journey. So don't make it be, unless you want it to be and you have that choice. But it's not gonna be as comfortable as it would be if you sort of choose to collaborate and work with others on whatever this is. And that collaboration can just simply be having conversations and brainstorming and getting ideas through other people's lens, right, of how they see the world and how their experiences have been, and what can you take from that wisdom and how can you incorporate that into your own journey, right? So definitely getting that. It may feel like this has to be a solo journey and you might be like, I have to do this by myself. I don't think you do. I don't really think you do. I think, the choices will ultimately be yours and you'll be stepping in your power when you make those decisions, right? But definitely accept the support, whatever that is, whether it's finances, whether it's emotional support or physical support or whatever. This is going to be a time where you need to ask for help or assistance and allow others to offer that to you and show up in support, right? And then listen to what they have to say compassionately without judgment. Doesn't mean that you have to take all of the information, all of the advice and run with it. You take what works for you, take what resonates, but be open to everything that kind of comes in. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care, ones. Bye for now.